Malcolm Leuenberger. Is this paradise or is this paradise?
This is paradise, Darryl.
You know, I can't believe it. What's the name of your operation?
Leuenberger's Kagianagami Lake Lodge.
And you know what that is? That's called Walleye Paradise. Probably the best walleye fishing in Ontario. And we're gonna get a lot of fish like this?
Yes, we are, Darryl.
Stick with us, because we're going fishing. I'm gonna let him go.
I'm going fishing all the time, and my baby's going fishing too. Bet your life that your sweet wife can catch more fish than you. Any fish will bite if you got the right bait. Now here's a little something that I'd like to relate. With my pole and my line, I'm going fishing. Yes, I'm going fishing. My baby's going fishing too.
Going Fishing with Darryl Choronzey is brought to you in part by Yamaha. Reliability with every turn of the key. G3 Boats, a Yamaha boat company. Maxima Premium Monofilament Fishing Lines, the best by test. And Islander Precision Reels. Closed captioning is brought to you by Garmin, the new wave in chart plotters and sonar solutions. Choronzey's used the word paradise more than just a few times over the years, but you know, when it comes to northwestern Ontario and solitude, companionship, and great walleye fishing, it's a definite fact that for our host, paradise really can be found at Leuenberger's Kag Lake Fly-In Lodge and Wilderness Outposts. The boss has been close friends with the Leuenberger family for almost 40 years now. As for the Kag, which is a short form for Kagianagami Lake, Choronzey really believes it is a paradise. The big lake of 20,000 acres is known for its abundance of lake trout, northern pike, brook trout, and walleye. In fact, when it comes to walleye, it truly is a world-class walleye fish factory. Today, Choronzey's sharing the boat with his good friend Malcolm Leuenberger, the head honcho of Leuenberger's Fly-In Lodge and Wilderness Outposts. The boys have boarded the turboprop de Havilland Otter for the big lake located 75 miles north of Nakina, Ontario. And the hungry walleye are waiting, so stay with us as Choronzey goes fishing in Walleye Paradise.
Malcolm, I can't believe this, Malcolm. I had to take the coat off. You know why? It's going to be a bluebird day. You know, some of these guys will just lie there, right? Look at this.
Oh, that's
Look at
nice
this.
One. That's a nice one.
Wow, watch I don't tangle with you.
Yeah, I'm watching.
Wow.
He's fighting.
I got 4-pound test line on there right now. 4-pound Maxima, my friend. I'm going to bring him over here. Wow. You know what? You're dragging this thing, you're just bumping it across bottom, almost dragging it, right? They're not hitting hard, Malcolm.
No, they're just mouthing it today.
Wow.
That's a nice one.
They're all nice in the keg, eh? Dandy. Get him up before he falls on me. Malcolm, I can't believe that the fish are like this. Is that a nice walleye?
That is a nice one.
And they're always like this in the keg, buddy.
Always like that, Darryl.
You got one too,
I
right
got
under the
one
boat.
right there.
I'll tell you what, you want great walleye fishing, you've got to get to the keg.
Oh, look at the size of this one, Darryl.
I can't believe this, you know. And if you tell people that they can come up here and bang, 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 all the walleye you want. What is that, the Leuenberg lift?
Not yet.
Nice
But look at the
fish,
size
but-
of that one.
Wow.
I can see why you let yours go early.
Oh, come on. Is that a nice fish or is that a nice fish?
That's a beautiful walleye, Darryl.
Malcolm, I'm being honest. I can't believe the walleye fishing in Kagianagami.
Oh, it's awesome.
Let me ask you something. How long have you folks owned this lake? And I can say own it because you pretty well have the rights to it.
Well, actually, my father started the company back in 1960, Darryl. And we've been on Kagianagami here probably since about 1964, 65.
Now, I don't want to say you're old, but 1960, right? That's 40 years to 2000. We're in 2010. You guys have had this lake for 50 years.
Close to 50 years, yes.
They used to commercial fish this lake?
They used to, yes, back in the early 60s, up until 64 when my dad bought both licenses up. And from that point on, there was no commercial fishing after that.
Now, remember again, this guy's name is Malcolm Leuenberger.
Yes.
It's called, what's the name of this camp?
Leuenberger's Kagianagami Lake Lodge.
And honest to God, and I'm not being smart, I'm getting out of this business very shortly. You know, I'm getting old, right? And I said to my wife, I want to go to the keg and do a couple shows before I retire. After I retire, can I come up here?
You sure can.
I get a free cottage?
I'll give you one, Darryl.
Buddy! Malcolm.
Darryl.
As fast as I can get the jig down. Hey, and they are taking it very lightly.
Yeah, they are.
This guy's got some backbone to him. I just can't believe this. We don't need a fish finder. I can see bottom. Wow.
I can see, Darryl, why you made me drive the boat.
Well, yesterday I drove the boat and I says, you're driving the boat today. Nice fish. Golly, nice fish. So the beginner can come up here and catch all the walleye he wants.
Yeah, Darryl, in a sense, but I mean, you still got to know where you got to be fishing on the bottom for your walleyes because that's where they're sitting.
Wow. Now here's the deal, and Malcolm said something that's really important. You've got to know where you're fishing, but you've got 500 islands out here. When you get out here, you pick a corner of the island where the wind's coming onto the island. When you cast out with that jig, all you want to do is bop it real slow across bottom. Now I'm running twister tails, right? We're running 3/8 ounce jigs, right? But you want to tip it with some bait. When I say bait, I'm talking dew worms, or today we're running minnows off the Mr. Twister tails. Nice fish.
Beautiful.
I'm gonna put them back. Malcolm, he doesn't know how lucky he was.
No, he was close to the frying pan, Darryl.
Talking about the frying pan, honest to God, this guy makes the best walleye shore lunch I've ever had, and it includes 1 pound of butter. We're gonna do it again today. Look.
I don't know, Darryl. We'll decide whether we'll do that one.
We're gonna do it. I mean, this is the chef of the north I'm talking to. We're gonna have the walleye today with 1 pound of butter.
Well, we'll see.
We'll stay slim like us.
Yes, for sure.
And now for Darryl Choronzey's Campfire Comment, brought to you by Daiwa, committed to total quality.
You know what? When you were this tall, I used to take you out on Georgian Bay. We used to catch all kinds of fish, right?
Tons of lake trout.
You know,
salmon.
Yeah. Now, if we want salmon, we've got to go down to Lake Ontario, really, to
Or
get,
the West Coast.
You know,
yeah.
or the West Coast. The Georgian Bay salmon fishery shot, but we got out on Lake Huron and we caught some steelhead today.
Yeah. Far
You
cry
know?
from what Georgian Bay used to be like for Lakers, though.
Now, let me tell you this. Last year, I mentioned something. I do not like the Ontario government raising 1.5 million or 1 million lake trout about this big at $1 a piece and then stocking them right on top of nets. And we're not going to say whose nets.
Why do they do that?
Because some biologists aren't too smart. And I'm not kidding about this. Some biologists aren't too smart.
We're wasting tax dollars.
We're wasting tax dollars, we're wasting fish, we're wasting hatchery space, we're wasting fishing opportunities, and we're wasting an economy. You know,
right.
we should start running this like a business. Now, last year I mentioned this, and I said, look, they stock 1.7 million fish, and I said whose nets they are. I don't care whose nets they are. I don't care, and I'm not supposed to mention names or races. You know, this is
right.
the politically correct society these days. I don't care whose nets they are. I don't care if they're run by a Martian. I don't care if a Martian sets those nets. The ministry better smarten up. You don't stock fish on top of nets.
Wasted tax dollars right there.
Josh hit it right on the head. We should be running our fishery, whether it's natural resources, it's a sport fishery, or we're trying to bring back wild fish. You run it as a business. You don't run it as a lab experiment. In Georgian Bay, they're trying to get natural reproduction going again. Well, it's asinine to stock rainbow trout or lake trout this big.
When you have a commercial fishery right there.
Hey, they get this big, they swim through the nets. They get this big, they swim through the nets. They
And
get
they're
that
gone.
big, they're ready for A&P or Loblaws or Zares or the local fish market. They're caught. They're caught before they're spawning. A dummy stocks fish on top of nets. I don't care who's doing those nets, but a dummy stocks fish on top of gill nets. Let's have a little common sense, you biologists out there.
Going Fishing returns with more from the waters of Lake Kagianagami.
Mr. Leuenberger, hey, what are you doing back there?
Darryl, I got to change my hook. I got my barb too dull from yesterday, all those fish I caught.
As fast as I get this down, and I'm not being smart, and I've got to say this one last time, this is paradise, right? So you said when I retire, did you not say I could have a cottage here?
Sure.
For nothing?
Didn't say that part.
Malcolm, honest to God, these guys are pretty strong.
Yes, they are, Darryl.
I just can't believe. And again, I can see this fish down here right now.
Yeah.
I can see the rocks below it, so that's how shallow we are.
It's sort of neat to watch them flare their gills, too.
Oh, golly. 4-pound test, buddy. 4-pound maxima, my little Dyra reel. Doing a little promotion for these guys, I'll tell you what. But again, you don't need telephone poles and you don't need cable for fishing line. I'm running 4-pound test. Put the grasp on here. Malcolm, you gotta love it, honest to God. You've gotta love the keg. How did it get the name the keg?
Actually, the full name is Kagianagami.
Yeah.
It's an Ojibwe Cree word that means everlasting waters. 85% of the lake is spring-fed.
Yeah.
But of course, we've found people just had a hard time pronouncing all those A's, so we just shortened it down to the keg.
The keg should mean walleye paradise, is what it should mean.
That's right.
Honest to God, if you get the chance, now, real quick, let's talk. How far are we from Toronto right now if you're driving? 15 hours?
From Toronto, yes, you're approximately 14 hours to Nakina.
Okay. How far are you from Detroit?
We're approximately 12 hours again.
Chicago?
About 12 hours again.
So you're 12, 12, and 12.
12, yeah.
I mean, if you get the chance, and everybody says, well, northwestern Ontario is a long ways away. Full roar. You know, you leave Toronto, you're going to get to Barrie, and then you start getting into paradise. And what I mean by paradise is trees, you're not into this urban encroachment, right? And it's a great trip. Say it takes you a day to come up here, right? You're going to spend the night in Nakina. What's the name of your buddies with the apartments?
R&D Apartments.
R&D Apartments. So you leave Toronto at 9 o'clock in the morning. You get in at, say, 10 o'clock at night. You spend the night in Nakina at R&D Apartments, right? You get up at 6 o'clock. You're at the air base at 7 o'clock. You get on the plane. How long does it take to fly in here?
About 30, 35 minutes, Darryl.
Okay, so you're talking 13 hours, you know, forget the sleeping. And you're in walleye paradise. And honest to God, it's every time you drop that jig down with a minnow on there, you got a fish.
That's right.
Jeez, I love this country. You know, I'm with Lauren Fletcher. What do you call this place?
Fletcher Sports.
Now, where are you located?
I'm on number 6 highway north of Springmount stoplight, about 5 kilometers.
From Owen Sound.
Yes.
Listen, you've been in the business how long?
Oh, about 50, 55 years, around there.
50 or 55 years.
Yes.
What does a small tackle shop owner do?
Well, I specialize in rod and reel repairs and filling lines on reels. I carry a huge stock of bulk lines, and we try to look after our customers.
Now, not only that, but you sell a lot of lures. How many lures are in this place?
It's hard to estimate exactly, but 20,000 maybe.
You know, I'm amazed it's a small building, and I'm amazed the lures you've got on the racks, that you're hanging from the ceiling, you know, that you've got on the pegboards. You've got lures upon lures. You've got all the terminal tackle you need. You got the rods and the reels.
Yes.
You've got something else. You've got the smarts, eh? The longer you're in this business, the smarter you get.
Well, I suppose we learn a little bit about different lures and manufacturers and buying and selling. Yes, that's...
You know, and something else you have to remember, when you go to these small tackle shops, listen, they've got the lures, they've got the rods and reels, they've got the knowledge, right? But they also know the local fishing holes. And that's something you don't find in the box stores.
That's true, that's
you know.
true, yeah.
Listen, when you're in Owen Sound, do yourself a favor, stop at Fletcher Sports. He's a few miles out of town. If you're in North Bay, stop at a small tackle shop. If you're in Timmins, stop at a small tackle shop. The small tackle shops know the lures, they know the locations, and they've just got the know-how.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Darryl, they're behind the boat there.
Is that why you're catching fish all of a sudden?
Two casts behind the boat.
Now, this is the way this drop-off is. I'm in 4 feet of water, you're in 12 feet of water.
Well, I told you eventually the boat was going to turn in my favor. Oh, this has got a little pull to it.
Malcolm, what pound test you got on there?
Right there's 4 6-pound test line
6
here.
pound?
Yes.
Again, when you come up here, honest to God, you want to catch a lot of fish, 4, 6, no more than 8-pound test, eh?
Not for your walleyes.
And again, I use this cable and telephone poles. You want a lot of fun, medium light, and you're laughing.
Definitely, that's what you want.
Nice fish, Malcolm.
Well, that's an easy release.
You know, okay, do you get customers to come up that don't catch fish?
some people just don't know where to fish for walleyes.
You know, and he said some people don't know how to fish for walleyes or where to fish for them. On this lake, you really don't need a fish finder. You know, you don't. It's nice to have, but it's not imperative, right? When you look at, we've got an island here, we've got an island there, the walleye are attracted to structure, which is the island. As the waves come in, it pushes the zooplankton in, it pushes the bait in, and it brings the walleye in, and that's all there is to it.
Yes, Darryl, that's, I don't really call it a fish finder. The depth finder is more accurate to what I say is find the structure where the walleyes are.
Yeah.
Because if they are holding in 25 feet of water, this lake has got so much structure, you can move 10 feet and go from 15 to 35 feet of water.
And a lot of times with the, as he says, it's not a fish finder, you're calling it a depth finder. And what you're looking for is the proper depth. You get into this water and you're fishing and say, well, right now we're in 6 to 10 feet of water. I'm 6 feet here. On the other side of the boat is probably 10 foot. We're on a drop off. You're not gonna mark the fish a lot of times. I don't care whether it's the best fish finder in the world, you wanna see the structure.
You wanna see what's down there.
And now for the Walker Deeper Diver Tip of the Week, taking your lures down and away. As important as your rods, reels, and lures are, a portable fish finder is a must when fishing in the north. Fish relate to structure. Most northern lakes are nutrient-rich and stained. What your eyes can't see, the fish finder can. And structure is where the fish are.
Mr. Leuenberger, I'm gonna tell you one thing. The fishing was hot, but it's hot here right now.
It is really hot right now, Darryl. That sun has got some really strength to it.
Okay, before you guys even think about coming north, don't overpack, right? You don't need 10,000 lures. We did a straight jig show for yesterday and today.
Yeah, basically up here I find for the walleyes, jigging works really great. If I go into a new lake sometimes, I will troll until I find them, and then I automatically go to a jig.
If you find the islands, you find the shoals, you're gonna find the fish. Now again, you don't need the cable, you don't need the telephone poles. I'm running a Daiwa 1300 SS, right? I'm running Mr. Twister jig and an ultralight rod and reel. Well, you can have an ultralight or you can have a medium, but you don't wanna go past medium.
No, definitely, Darryl. I mean, I find up here ultralight, light action, medium action rod is awesome for the walleyes. Basically, that way you can feel the walleye biting through the rod, and they're coming up from 10, 12 feet, and you have a fantastic time.
And no matter what people think, listen, we don't come up here with 15 and 20 pound tests for fishing walleye. We ran 4 and 6 pound maxima today.
That's all we ran today. And
that's all you need.
Yeah.
Now, before I go any farther, because I know you're going to do shore launch. You're going to do a great shore launch for me, right?
Oh, yes.
When you come up here with jigs. You've got your Mr. Twister tails, and that's a mouthful. You've got your light line, but I've got a buddy, and it's called Behringer Jigs. Now, I don't know whether he's out of Kenora or whether he's at a Sioux Lookout. But he sent me this box, right? And he sells these boxes totally supplied. There's got to be 300 jigs in there. That's enough for a lifetime.
Well, actually, Darryl, it is great because, I mean, you have all the different sizes in there. One thing I did notice, I'm just going to move this here little guy here. There's also some bubblegum jigs in there, which are pink.
Well, we should say, now listen, we ran white today.
We ran white
But you can
today.
use black, you can use white, you can use brown, you can use chartreuse, the purples, and you said the bubble gum.
Yes, actually the bubble gum, I mean, a lot of guys might not want to throw a pink jig.
Yeah.
They don't know what they're missing because the walleyes some days like that color.
All you have to remember is, now listen, go light or go medium light.
That's right.
You got your jigs, you've got your twister tails, or if you want to use meat, like, and I say meat, I'm talking minnows, I'm talking worms, and you also use leeches.
That's right. All three of those will really work well with a 3-inch twister tail. And really any combination color of tail or head that the fish are biting on that day.
And they always bite at the keg.
They always bite here.
Listen, buddy, get over there. You're going to do the shore lunch.
Oh, yes.
We're going to eat. I'm going to have a nap, and then we'll go back out.
All right, that's what we'll do.
Going fishing returns with the Napoleon Barbecue's Shore Lunch.
Malcolm Leuenberger, listen, you're not only known as one of the best fishermen around Nakina, you're one of their top chefs.
Well, Darryl, I'm hoping that I'm going to be your top chef tonight. I'm going to cook you a little bit of walleyes there tonight. And it's Darryl Choronzey's breading and batter mix.
He had a little problem. He was mixing that up, but I think it's called Darryl Choronzey's breading and batter mix, right?
That's right.
Okay, what are you going to do with it? You got the fresh walleyes, you got the lemon. I know that's for later.
That's right.
How are you going to do this?
Well,
Plain or
actually,
simple?
I'm going to take the walleye fillets and I'm going to put it in a Ziploc bag.
Yeah.
I'm going to shake it until they're well coated.
Yeah.
I'm going to put the oil in this frying pan.
Yeah.
Put it over this nice fire.
Yeah.
And then once the temperature is just right, I'm going to cook you a superb walleye fillet.
And you don't overcook.
Don't overcook. Definitely
Okay.
not.
You're going to put them on a plate and I'm going to look at that sunset.
You sure can sit right over there at that table and enjoy your heart.
Let's go for it.
Definitely, we'll do that right now.
Mr. Leuenberger. Did I pronounce that right?
Yes, you did, Darryl.
You know, it's Choronzey, right? And it's Leuenberger, right?
Yes.
What's the name of this lake?
Kagianagami.
Yeah, I've got to tell you something. Not only are you a great lodge operator, you're a pretty good fisherman, but you're a phenomenal cook. And when I come north, I don't use forks, okay? I just want to say to you one last time, you want the best walleye fishing in Canada, get up to Leuenberger's. We're going to eat this and then we'll go fishing.
For more information on today's fishing location and other going fishing destinations, visit goingfishingtv.com. Going Fishing with Darryl Choronzey has been brought to you in part by Yamaha Outboards, reliability with every turn of the key. G3 Boats, a Yamaha boat company. Maxima Premium Monofilament Fishing Lines, the best by test. And Islander Precision Reels. Going Fishing would like to thank the following fine sponsors.
Going fishing, baby, smiling my way, gonna have a great day, no competition. Going fishing, going fishing. We'll be gone, but not for too long.